I remember day 3 on this insulin pump. I literally took it off, wrapped up the tubing, put it in a little blue box, and stuck it up on the shelf. All the while thinking to myself, that's it. What was I even thinking? I don't think I can do this pump thing. So if you're thinking of quitting right now with your insulin pump, or you're just scared to go to that appointment that you've set up to get started on an insulin pump, this video is for you because let me tell you, I almost quit. And I'm sure glad I didn't. By the end of this video, you'll know the 3 things that finally made me trust my pump. And one of them kind of surprised me. So make sure you stick around for that. And at the end, I'm going to share what I wish somebody had told me right at the start, right at the beginning of this whole pump journey. Well, second pump journey. Because nobody told me. And it would have saved me a year and a half. I've been doing this for a long time. I pumped back in the 90s, before automation was even a thing, or control IQ, before CGMs even existed. Then I went back to injections for well over a decade. I ate low carb. I used Toronto insulin. I was really strict, really rigid, and really controlling. And honestly, I got really good at it. My doctor said, you got one chance here to get your A1C down from 8.9%. High 5s, low 6s for years. So when it came to the pump 3 years ago, at 50, I thought I knew what I was doing, but clearly I didn't. So before we get into what changed, let me tell you where I was coming from. When my diabetes team started mentioning the pump again over 3 years ago, my gut reaction was, why? Like, my A1C was in the low 6s. Why would I mess with something that's working? And they didn't push it on me. They just mentioned it. So I thought, I'm going to give it a shot. 3 days into that shot, you already know what happened. Blue box, shelf, done. And 3 months later, I tried again. Same thing. This went on for well over a year and a half, actually. It's on the pump, off the pump, on the pump, off the pump. Thank goodness I have a very forgiving team. Every time I went off the insulin pump, I told myself the same thing. It's the pump. It's just not working. Why do I even bother? But here's the truth. It wasn't the pump. It was totally me. I didn't trust the automation. Handing over control to this automated device, it felt like letting go of the wheel while driving on a highway and not in a Tesla, old school car. I didn't trust the infusion sets, occlusion alarms, site failures, and honestly, it brought back flashbacks from the 90s. Those same plastic cannulas, the same kinking, the same frustration. I had trauma around that stuff and didn't even realize it. And the biggest thing, I'm super controlling when it comes to my diabetes. You may have guessed that. So the minute I'd see my blood sugar creep up above 8, because I was experimenting, eating different foods with the pump, the foods I normally wouldn't eat on MDI, I'd freak out and, of course, blame the pump. I'd say in my head, see, I told you, it's not working. And I talked myself into yet another pump vacation. I was so focused on losing the control I already had that I couldn't see what the pump was actually trying to give me. If I'd only given it more time. My team told me to be patient, but they didn't really explain what that meant. And I'll get to that in a minute. So what changed? 3 things actually changed for me. And one of them kind of surprised me. Make sure you stick around for that. The first one is almost embarrassing to admit because it's so simple. It was literally the infusion set choice. I switched from plastic cannulas to TruSteel. If you don't know what that is, it's a steel cannula instead of a plastic one, so it can't kink. So that was huge for trust. That may sound small, but for a control freak like me, who had years of kink cannulas and trauma from the 90s, knowing that insulin was actually being delivered changed everything. Because half the time I was blaming the pump. It wasn't the pump at all. It was the kinked cannula sitting under my skin doing nothing. So one change, completely different experience, and a lot more trust. The second thing, and this one took me longer, was simplifying my pump settings. Now, I work in healthcare education. I've been around diabetes management for a long time. So when I got my hands on the pump, I thought I knew exactly what to do. So I programmed 18 different basal rates. Not kidding, I did. 18. I was calculating square wave boluses, dual wave boluses, manually accounting for every gram of protein and fat. I was micromanaging the hell out of my pump. Who I named Norm, by the way. I know, weird. About 6 months in, I went to a Dexcom talk through work. Automation, simplification, the whole thing. And shortly after that, I had a call with my diabetes educator. I told her about my 18 basal rates, and she chuckled, kindly, of course, and said, you only need 1 or 2 to start with. How do you feel about that, Trev? So I said, okay, let's do it. So I ended up with 3 as of today. And here's what I realized. I wasn't trusting the system because I wasn't actually letting it run. It wasn't even set up properly. I was driving with 1 foot on the brake the whole time, probably double actually. So the message is simple. Control IQ handles most of the background noise. Heavier meals, protein, fat. It's not perfect. It doesn't do this perfectly, but most of the time it does. And when you stop fighting it, it works. So my A1C stayed exactly where it was on MDI. No loss of control, but the mental load almost completely gone. Diabetes is diabetes. It's never going to be that. Let's be honest. You guys know that. And then there's the third thing. And this one doesn't get talked about often enough. Sleep. Honestly, I can go to bed at night with even a sketchy blood sugar. Like last night we had Easter dinner, massive meal. Not crazy high, of course, but not perfect either. And I actually know that I'm going to wake up with a blood sugar around 6.1, 98% of the time. And sleep is something to be guarded. It messes with insulin resistance. It messes with everything. And the thing I notice every single time I go off my pump on my pump vacation, more lows at night, and more time out of range, more waking up to correct. And let's face it, we sleep 1/3 of our lives. That third should be working for you, not against you. A quick question. Are you sleeping better on the pump or off of it if you're indeed using a pump? Drop it in the comments right now. Let me know. I'm genuinely curious, and I read every single comment. Okay, but here's what I actually didn't expect. Once I got my settings dialed in and let go of control, I started to feel like a human being first and a type 1 diabetic second. And I haven't felt like that in I think most of my life, really, forever. There are days now where I eat breakfast, have my coffee, go for a walk, go to work, just do my thing. And I only realized at the end of the day that my CGM alarm hasn't gone off once. My blood sugar was normal the whole time without me doing anything. Now, that's insane to me. After 40 years of this, and because of that, I trust Norm more than ever. I eat a relatively normal diet now, healthy whole food choices, reasonable carb loads, decent protein, not like Cocoa Puffs, but normal. And if my carb counts are fairly accurate, and even sometimes when they're not, the pump takes care of it. I feel less like a person with diabetes and more like a person who just has diabetes quietly humming in the background. Something I need to attend to sometimes, but not all the time. And that's what I didn't expect. And that's why I stayed on the pump. And as always, this is just what worked for me. 43 years of type 1, and I'm still figuring this stuff out. Your experience is going to be completely different. There's no one diabetic that's the same. So talk to your diabetes team to make any changes. So I mentioned in the beginning what I wish somebody had told me on day 1. And basically that is commit. Commit with both feet in. It's like any relationship. And yes, I'm calling it a relationship. If you've got 1 foot out the door the whole time, you're never going to give it a real chance. You're never going to know if it works. I wish somebody had sat me down and said, look, Trevor, give it 6 months, both feet in, fully committed. Go on dates with Norm every Saturday. Okay, that sounds weird. Listen to the feedback you're getting from your CGM data. Make small tweaks. Trust that if you put in the time, it's going to pay off. Because you don't know if something's going to work if you never really try. My partner and I, we built our foundation slowly, then fell in love and are still together. It's kind of like that with the pump. A little different, but I think you get what I'm saying. But that's honestly how I feel about Norm right now, my assistant manager. And I wish somebody had told me that sooner. I wish they had said right in the beginning, both feet in, full commitment, 6 months. That's all I'm asking. Okay. If you want to start understanding your own patterns, I put together a free guide on blood sugar pattern recognition. Check it out, it's in the description. If you want to work through this stuff directly, there's a link in the description to book a free call with me. And if you want to go deeper on simplifying your pump settings, check out this video next.